So I'm more of a logical thinker than a feeler. And it was through couples counseling that I'm realizing how much my objectivity can become an emotional defense mechanism. And so in my previous story, I shared a little bit about how I got into fights with my older brother, and I felt that it was so unfair that I was being punished when he was the instigator of these fights. My childhood logic was that if he didn't provoke me, then I wouldn't retaliate, right? But obviously, the adult me understands that it is still my responsibility for how I react to the provocation. But as a child, I did not want to be punished unfairly, right? There's this emotional component of how can I protect myself from being punished unfairly? And this is where my objectivity kicks in. I see things through a lens of objective fairness. And so, even as I'm describing this adult version of me, where I'm taking responsibility for how I reacted to a situation, just like how my brother needs to acknowledge his part of the conflict regarding the provocation, right? Like, there are parts to this. However, I also shared how this defense mechanism shows up in conflicts with my partner, this desire for objectivity. And it kind of blinds me from hearing the emotional side that my partner wants to soothe. When I hear something that makes me feel like I'm blamed for something, it may not be that she's blaming me at all. When I feel that way, the defense mechanism shows up. And because I can see how it's showing up with that connection I've made with my childhood, I can do something about it. And the thing is, some people think you can logic away emotional defense mechanisms. You cannot logic away emotion. That's not how it works. It's like, oh, you shouldn't feel that way. That doesn't do anything. The way you disarm emotional defense mechanisms is by approaching it in a gentle, emotional way. I can thank my defense mechanism. I can say, I see how hard you're working to protect me. I see that. I can feel this immense emotion precisely because my brain is trying to protect me from feeling that unfair punishment. And if I give into that feeling when I'm having arguments with my partner, I can be like, oh, like you got this part wrong. It didn't happen this way. Or I can be very nitpicky about the objectivity of the situation. But my partner, she is not as objective as I am. She's a lot more of a feeling based person. And so she may indeed get the parts wrong because she's focusing on a part of the story that she's being affected by emotionally. And so if I'm correcting her, then she's never going to get a chance to get herself heard. What I'm doing by telling her, oh, you got this part of the story wrong, I'm trying to solve her emotional problem with logic again, right? And it doesn't work that way, right? She's not going to feel any better if I'm trying to tell her what's wrong about the story. And so just like I'm disarming my emotional defensive mechanism with gentleness, I can turn towards my partner and really try to understand where she's coming from, even if the words that she's saying is not what she's trying to communicate. And that's basically a bit of emotional maturity, right? So it's like you can feel hurt and you can also recognize that they're not trying to hurt you. You can do something about it when you recognize where it comes from. And so that's the most important part, making these connections. And so take it from me, I am one of the most logical and objective thinking person. If I can learn to lay down my objectivity to really understand someone emotionally, you can too.